Hi, this is Vibrant Scrappy Mania, and today I want to give you a recap of one of my art journals. Now, I have two art journals that I'm playing with. I have this one that is made with a recycle book, and I have a couple more pages left on it. So it's not complete yet, but sometimes when I'm doing something in this one, I sometimes still want to do some more crafting. So I did create a second art journal, and this is my second one. Now, this was created with Recycle magazine, where I took 2 pages of the magazine, I glued them together, and then I went over it with some gesso and with some tape on the spine area, just to give it so that way the ink or the paint will not go to the other page. So that's how I made this one. So the front page, it was basically made with stamping pastels, and I took a cotton ball like this. I used it with the pastels, and then I just smeared it on here. After I smeared it on there, I took some of my black paint with water, and I created vines. I took some of my dimensional fabric paint, and I made flowers. This doll was actually created with, paper doll book that I have. And let's see, let me bring you all the ones that I kind of have purchased so far. So I had to fill up one of these boxes. But this is one that what you do is it comes with the dolls, and you're supposed to use it to create garments on it. So I got this one. Now, this one I do not recommend. I don't really like it that much. But I'll see what I do with it. Now, these are the ones that I purchased at my local electronics store. I went there, and they had an aisle for kids that had coloring books and crayons and things like that. So I found this one, and it had templates of clothes, plus it had the images of the dolls on here. And you're supposed to lay the template on, draw out the dresses, and then color them in. And they had some like this that it was already made with the image. So you'll see a page that I took one of these and I cut it out and I used it. So I bought all of the 4 books that they had there. And these, if you want to look for them, it's called Designer Sketchbook Style Me Up. And it's made by Wookiee Entertainment. So I really like that. What I usually like to do is I like to use the dolls, and I trace them with a darker pen. Let me see if I have one like here. Like this one. Now, this is a doll that I show you. Now, this is from the same, it's from the same company. It's Designer Sketchbook. It's called Designer Sketchbook Style Me Up. And this is what I do. I take the pages out. I use my light box, and I trace them out. So this is what I use for a lot of my books, art books. I'm also visiting the children aisle and getting coloring book images, and I'm going to create a page using this. I think it's going to look very cute. So, and this was $1. So start thinking about getting coloring books of like Barbies. I'm looking for coloring book of Barbies and Teenager and the Brat series. Those will look very nicely as mixed media dolls in your art journals. And then this is the other one that has the larger, head or the larger body, the whole body. And I do the same thing. I've used this one to create other mixed media dolls. And it also comes with templates. So you take these and you can create clothes for your dolls. So I really, really like all of these. So that's an idea that you can use if you're like me and are starting to learn how to draw shapes and dolls. and things like that. So let me put this back where I had it. So that's what I used to create this doll. And then this one, it's a little puppy that my daughter brought over. It was a rescue puppy. So I made a page about the story of Rosie. So here I just used some of my spray inks that I create with printer ink. And just some gesso and, you know, some black acrylic paint. And just made a border. I really like how that one came out. And then this one I was trying to get a little more bolder. So I created my own mixed media doll without a pattern or anything. And I used my watercolor crayons. Now these were the Strathmore crayons. And some more of my spray paints. And I used some of Die Cut with a View, the fairy tale collection that they had. And it had castles, Happy Ever, There Live a Beautiful Princess, and things like that. So I started cutting out some of the fairies in the castle and used that for here. And sometimes as I construct these pages, I made the image of the doll first. And once I made the image of the doll, it kind of guided me in the other elements to be brought over to the page. So after I made her, she looked to me like a princess, and then I decided to just get, you know, I knew I had a stack of papers that had that princess theme, and I went through my stack, got some fairies, got some castle, and just put everything together. So an art journal is basically a way, an outlet. It's just a way, it shouldn't be stressful. You shouldn't stress about it. You should just let your mind go free and just create whatever comes to mind. Like in this particular layout, it actually just evolved out of the doll. So I took the doll, you know, and that's one of the sketchbook dolls. I traced her out on regular paper. I placed her on here, and after I colored her and I placed her here, it kind of guided me on to creating Asian themed buildings. And I had the Far West Die Cut with a View collection paper pad, and I cut out some of these trees, these cherry blossom tree that had their Chinese lanterns, and it just, there it is. It just grew as I was composing the page. And then this one, I just wanted to play with ink. I wanted to play with shadowing. I wanted to play with inks. I wanted to play with brush strokes. I wanted to use my acrylic paint and just scribble things, because now, you know, brush strokes are popular, so I wanted to see if I can do something like that. I added some triangles, and I was just having fun. Here's another one that I was just having fun. I took some of my color sprays and some of my stencils, some of my stamps, old stamps. This is a die cut set that I purchased of balloon from HSN, and I just wanted to use that there. I made some clouds. I made this myself. I just playing with, you know, shapes, and you know, it's not perfect. As you can see, her neck is a little too thin for her head, but it's just, it's fine. It's your art. So I was having a lot of fun creating this doll. And then I had these little packs of journaling cards that are blank that I purchased from Michael's, and it's actually from the Project Life. And so I just used some more stamps, and I just started using, you know, some of my Amy Tangerine stitching templates. So it's basically this. Now this is for my sister. I bought her this one. But it's like these stenciling, these stitching stencils. And these are perfect for those journaling cards, because you can use that, stitch your hearts and your love and whatever you want to do it, and you make your unique cards for either Project Life or for whatever you want to use. And in this particular case, I used it here. Okay. here is, I was inspired by a video from the Sakura channel in where she was teaching you how to create perspective, how to create building with a ruler, and how to look at the horizon and go from there. And that's what I did. I used a ruler, and I have a video how to create this page, but it really came out very lovely. I really loved it. And then I decided I wanted to also play with making my own mixed media doll. I'm not that great with faces. I'm still practicing, but I have a couple of books. I got the book from Julie Nutty, her first book on how to draw dolls. I also purchased another book on creating faces, and just watching a lot of YouTube channel videos on the YouTube on how to create dolls, how to draw faces. And so I created this doll, and I cut out papers, you know, and in the form of her body, and there you have it. This is an Amy Tangerine stencil, and I cut it out and put it there. Now this one was, at this point, I wanted to play with my homemade gesso, adding a little more of some plaster of Paris and making it thicker to make a paste, to make modeling paste. So there's my modeling paste. Now I put a little bit too much of the latex paint. I have a lot of latex paint left over from a project, so I put a little too much, but still, see how it looks nice? It still looks pretty nice. Again, this is that journaling card that you get from Project Life. I took the Amy Tangerine alphabet that I have and spell out neat in there, and this is actually some alphabets from Martha Stewart, from leftover from a wedding album that I created for my sister-in-law. So just wanted to play with that. I also wanted to play with the technique of taking some old toilet paper roll and inking the bottom of the toilet paper roll and just stamping it around to create circles. So I really like how this page came out. These are the dolls I showed you earlier, so I took and cut them out. Now, one advice that I want to tell you about this page is do not use Mod Podge Glossy to seal your page. It is the worst thing you ever could do for your art journal. It still sticks. Like, I mean, I can lift this page a little bit because it's still sticky. Now this page is old. I mean, I didn't do it yesterday. It's actually 4 weeks ago. And then I made this page, and look, watch. You can hear it. Hear the stickiness, and see how it's pulling from the other page, and so like that, it's just damaging the art. Do not use glossy sealant or glue or whatever. Don't use the Mod Podge. Just, that's what I use. Don't like the Mod Podge. I use that here too, and it's still, you can hear it. Look, that's Mod Podge. This is very old. This is about 7 months old, and it's still sticking. Look at this. Mod Podge. Do not use Mod Podge. I've been having better success. Look at these other ones, are pretty loose. Now this is with some of my wax. So that's wax. This is actually with some gel medium and gel medium. So the gel medium works pretty nice. Don't use Mod Podge. Okay? And then this one is, I was just playing with my black gesso. I was playing with shapes. I was watching TV while I was playing with my gesso and my shapes. And I cannot watch TV and spell at the same time. I was watching an episode of, I even forgot what I was watching. It was on Hulu. Anyhow, so as I was watching, you know, I colored all my alphabet, and I had them on laying down. And I was picking them up and watching TV and laying them down and not really concentrating on the wording or anything. So on this one, I forgot to put the R, and I spelled colorful. And I end up putting the R afterwards. And then this one, instead of saying cityscape, I don't know what I was thinking. As I was gluing them up, I wasn't reading it, and I was just putting them together, and I spelled scape city. Oh well, it's my art journal. That's something that happened, so I'm gonna leave it like that. I didn't want to destroy it, so but this is another one of my art journals, one of my pages. And then this one, I was playing with creating fiber paste. I saw Donna Downing on one of her Inspiration Wednesdays. She had a golden brand fiber paste and used that on the page, and it created a lot of nice texture. So I decided that I wanted to create my own fiber paste because I have lots of scrap paper. I have a blender, and I decided, you know what, I can make pulp. Maybe I can mix that with my gesso, my homemade gesso, and see what comes out. This is what came out. This is the fiber paste that I created, and it works pretty nice. I mean, I like it. It works pretty nice, and let me show you a little bit of the texture. Now, I did cover it. After I put it on, I put it a little bit too much on this page. It came out like stucco. It really looks like stucco. Let me show you here. See, it's kind of rough and stucco-y like. So imagine using that fiber paste with a brick stencil, and I do have a brick stencil, so that's the next thing I'm going to try. Use that on a brick stencil, lift the stencil out, and let it dry real good before you go over with treatment. I think it's going to look very nice. So anyhow, so this is my other page. And then another thing that I wanted to play with is taking recycling magazines. So this is Christina Aguilera in a back cover of a magazine, and she was advertising for her perfume, which the perfume was right here with the name. I went ahead and cut her out and just placed it on here, and I just created the hair and went over it with some more paint and some of my real bright acrylic paint, and it really looks nice. I mean, I really like how that one came out. I'm thinking about doing the same thing here with the Kardashian. By the time I'm done with this page, after I do all my treatment, you won't even recognize that it's them. Like, you cannot even recognize this is Christina. But that's what I did, and I really like how that came out. Now, the last thing is this last page, I wanted to play with just creating a doll on my own, and I wanted to create the figure. Because usually, I'm getting pretty good at creating a lot of the face, but not really the figure as much. Now, this is from a template that I got from a YouTube channel, and it's from Gabrielle Polacco. And she offers this pattern for free on her blog. So I'll put the link on that so you can go and get that if you want to. But I really haven't ventured in creating a whole body. So this is my first attempt at creating a whole body. And I really like the mermaid, inspired by Jane Davenport. She was making a mermaid on her channel and showing how to do it. So I really went ahead and just created the face, created the tail, and I like how it came out. Not too bad. And I was playing also with charcoal. So I had these charcoal pencils. So I used that to kind of outline her first. And then that's why it's a little dirty, as you can see there, because as you put the watercolor, and I'm using watercolor, so as you do your watercolor, it kind of smears a little bit. But I like that. It came out pretty nice. I like the cheeks. I like the hair, spiky little hair. So that's it. I went over with a little bit of some spray adhesive, or not spray adhesive, spray sealant, and with a little bit of sparkle. And there's the end of this art journal. So I hope you like this video and get some ideas. And thank you for watching. Bye now.